It's the second day of summer school. I know it's hot, everyone, but let's try and get through class. Focus pocus. Focus pocus. What the hell, man? You must all be very curious students to be taking this course over the summer. I'm not really sure what to make of that. Yeah. Well, let's talk about something interesting today. All you future magicians will want to pay close attention. Today's subject is tarot. That's right, those cards often used in fortune telling. Originating in 15th century Europe as normal playing cards, tarot cards evolved into tools of divination. A variety of different versions of tarot card decks exist, including the Marseille and Rider decks. Interesting. I know nothing about tarot for context. But today, in respect of the great magician Crowley, we will be using the Thoth deck. First, let's talk about the composition of the deck. The modern 78 card tarot deck is divided into two parts. There are 22 major arcana and the face cards and 56 minor arcana of number cards. The minor arcana are also sometimes called pips. Major arcana feature a variety of illustration on their faces, beginning with the Fool and ending with the World. They tell a story in numerical order, that is, a metaphor of an individual's journey through life. Each major arcana represents a stage on that journey, an experience that the individual must incorporate to realize his oneness. They are all important, so let's take a look at each of the 22 cards one by one. The first card, numbered 0, is the Fool. It represents the beginning and suggests infinite possibilities. The next card, the Magician, represents action and initiative, but also immaturity. The Priestess represents contemplation and inner knowledge. The Empress represents motherhood and the life it brings forth. The Emperor is an opposing card. It represents fathering and relates to leadership and decision-making skills. The Hierophant represents formality and knowledge and stands for religion. The Lover's card represents choice. Here, the individual's consciousness has finally surfaced. The Chariot represents victory for the individual, but only a momentary one. Justice represents the knowledge of what is right and what is wrong. The Hermit represents the individual's search for answers by looking inward deep inside his heart. Fortune represents fate and the opportunity that comes with it. Opportunities, rather. Strength represents both passion and self-control. It is depicted as power with reason. The Hanged Man reflects the individual's inability to take action. Spiritual death awaits the individual with the 13th card, which is aptly named Death. Death is considered a transitional card. The old ends and the new begins. Now let us continue along the path, following the transition. Temperance is the balancing of opposites. Opening his eyes to the world allows the individual to grow. And as the Devil represents, he then faces temptation. At the Tower, his values collapse on him. It seems as if he no longer has anything to believe in, but he then finds a glimmer of hope, represented by the star, and he is suffused with a serene calm. This bliss makes him vulnerable to the illusions of the moon. Fears arise, and he follows the dim path in his heart with trepidation. But he is rewarded with a bright future represented by the sun, which signifies true achievement. Judgment awaits the individual at the end of his journey as he looks back on the path he has traveled. The final card is the World, which represents the individual's full awareness of his place in the world. That is the growth of an individual as explained by the tarot cards. Perhaps all this talk about life doesn't hit home with you young folks just yet. Now you can use all 78 cards to divine your future in detail. But most people only use the 22 major arcana. Okay, next let's talk about how to tell fortunes using the major arcana. Bro, please, I can't take it anymore. My throat. First, you will need to shuffle the cards. If a card is reversed, its meaning will change, so it's important. The class continues. Despite the heat, the lecture continues. Oh my god. Thank you. Your academics has increased.